Good morning, children. We will continue with the poem The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, page 90 in your Engaging English textbooks. The bride had paced into the hall. The bride, that is the girl who is going to get married, she has come into the hall. Paced means walked into the hall. The bride had paced into the hall. Red as a rose is she. She is as beautiful as a rose flower. Nodding their heads before her goes the merry minstrelsy. Minstrelsy is the music. The musicians are playing their music and they are going in front of her. And the guests have gathered together and they are all excited and happy. Nodding their heads before her goes the merry minstrelsy. Minstrelsy is the musicians. The wedding guest, he beat his breast. The wedding guest sitting outside on the stone, listening to the mariner's story, he started beating his breast because he is filled with grief. He wants to go for the wedding ceremony, but somehow he is not able to go. Yet he cannot choose but hear, because the mariner has such a hold on him. The hypnotic eyes of the mariner prevents him from going to attend the wedding, even though he wants to go. He cannot choose but hear. So he has to listen to what the mariner has to say. And thus spake on that ancient man, the bright-eyed mariner. The mariner continued to talk. And now the storm blast came and he was tyrannous and strong. Suddenly there was a storm. Storm blast refers to the song. Violent winds, rain, heavy rain. And he refers to the storm. He is personified because a lifeless object is spoken of as a person. He was like a tyrant. A tyrant, we say tyrant ruler, a person who is cruel, person who is very powerful. So the storm was very powerful and he was tyrannous and strong. There was a lot of violence. Violent winds were blowing. He struck with his overtaking wings. The winds, the stormy winds struck against the sides of the boat and chased us south along. So the boat is going in the direction of the south. The ship is sailing in the direction of the south. With sloping masts and dipping prow, as who pursued with yell and blow. Here the storm is the enemy and the ship is trying to escape from the storm. Just like a man running away from the enemy, the ship is also trying to escape from the storm. But the ship cannot escape like that. With sloping mast and dipping prow. The mast is the top part of the ship. It is bending because of the wind. And dipping prow. Prow is the pointed part of the ship that is almost touching the surface of the sea. With sloping mast and dipping prow, as who pursued with yell and blow. That is the enemy trying to escape, shouting and screaming, trying to run away. Shall tread the shadow of his foe. Foe is the enemy. A man running away from his enemy. Here the ship is trying to run away or escape from the storm. And forward bends his head. The ship drove fast. Loud roared the blast. The storm is becoming more violent. And southward we fled. I means yes. So the ship is sailing in this direction. It is going southwards. And now there came both mist and snow. Along with the storm there was mist, there was also snow. And it grew wondrous cold. The weather became extremely cold. An ice mast high came floating by. A big iceberg, a huge iceberg came floating towards the ship. as green as emerald. There you have a simile. The iceberg is green in color, just like the precious stone emerald, which is green in color. An ice mast high. The ice is as high as the mast of the ship. A huge iceberg came floating by, as green as emerald. And through the drifts, the snowy cliffs. So very cold snow, cold wind, cold breeze, did send a dismal sheen. And because of the mist, it was not very clear. Did send a dismal sheen. That is a dull color. Nor shapes of men nor beasts we ken. Ken means no. There were no people around. It was a very lonely place. There were not even animals. They could not see any animals. Nor shapes of men nor beasts we ken. So a very lonely, solitary area. The ice was all between. All they could see was only the ice. As you see in the next few lines, the ice was here, the ice was there, the ice was all around. Again, repetition of the word ice gives the effect of the ship surrounded by ice. The ice was here, the ice was there, the ice was all around. It cracked and growled and roared and howled. That is when the blocks of ice come crashing against the sides of the ship, sounds are heard, noises are heard. And these noises are compared to a man who is fainting, who is like noises in a swoon. Swoon means fainting. A person about to swoon utters sounds like the blocks of ice crashing against the sides of the ship. At length did cross an albatross. Albatross is the largest seabird found in the southern Pacific and Antarctic regions. The grey-headed albatross can complete a full circle round the earth in just over a month. So finally an albatross came across the path. At length did cross an albatross, thorough the fog it came. Thorough means through the fog. There is mist, there is fog, there is snow, there is ice. And it was at this time that the bird came. As if it had been a Christian soul, we hailed it in God's name. The albatross is compared to a person, a Christian, who has not committed, who is sinless or who is pure, a pure person we can say. As if it had been a Christian soul. So the bird is compared to a person. Again you have comparison there. We hailed it in God's name. They greeted the bird in the name of God. And they were very friendly with the sailors. They ate the food, it ate the food it ne'er had ate. The food, the mariners which the food which the mariners gave to the food, the bird is eating it for the first time. It ate the food it ne'er had eat, and round it flew. The bird seems to circle the ship, flying round and round the ship. The ice did split with a thunder fit, the helmsman steered us through. Now this bird flying around and round the ship, it had a sort of charm, that is, the storm suddenly stopped. The ice did split with thunder fit, the helmsman steered us through. And a good south wind sprung up. Weather is better now, the wind is good, but the albatross continued to be with them. The albatross did follow. And every day for food or play came in the mariner's hollow. It came near the mariners, it came on the deck of the ship, it ate food from the mariner's hand, it was very friendly with the sailors. Came to the mariner's hollow. In mist or cloud, on mast or shroud, any weather, even if there is mist, even if the weather is cloudy, the albatross continued to come to the ship. The albatross continued to be very friendly with the sailors. Whilst all the night through fog smoke white glimmered the white moonshine. The fog was there, but still the weather was there was no storm. The weather was good. Whilst all the night through fog smoke white glimmered the white moon. God save the ancient mariner from the fears that plague thee thus. Why lookest thou so? Now those words are spoken by the wedding guest. Suddenly the mariner looked very distressed, very disturbed, and he has not yet told the sin or the crime which he has committed. And so the wedding guest is consoling the mariner even though he has not mentioned the crime. God save the ancient mariner from the fiends that plague thee thus. Fiend is devil. So here it refers to the disturbed state of mind of the mariner because of the crime which he has committed and the guilt feeling. So because of that guilt feeling, he wanted to get rid of the guilt in his heart. That is why he forced the wedding guest to remain there and listen to his story. Now in the last line of the poem, you have the crime that he committed. God save the ancient mariner from the fiends that plague thee thus. There, God will help you. You should get over the worry, the distress, the sorrow that is in your heart. Why lookest thou so? Why are you looking so fearful, so frightened? Why are you looking so worried, so distressed? So the mariner finally confesses what he did. With my crossbow, I shot the albatross. He killed the bird with his bow and arrow. There you can see that in the picture. He's shooting at the bird. Now the bird is innocent. The bird stands for purity. It's called the Christian soul, and it was very friendly with the sailors. And we are not told why he killed the bird. It was a very thoughtless action on his part. Maybe some sudden feeling made him kill that bird, but we are not told why. He also does not understand why he has killed the bird, but the guilt feeling was so much in his heart that he felt as if devils were in his heart. Fiend, I told you, from the fiends that plague thee thus. Now the rest of the poem is not here, but here he has confessed his crime to the wedding guest. So with that we finish this lesson.